people, how is everyone today? Everyone is awesome. Everyone is great. That's good to hear. Thank you so much for joining us today for our brand legally webinar. My name is Montgomery. I am the attorney and founder of Montgomery IP Solutions. And when I say I'm so excited, I am so excited about not only today's webinar, but just today's guests. You notice that I'm not by myself today, right? Normally when I'm on here, I'm like by myself and it's just me and you and us against the world, right? But not today. Today we have attorney Ronald Baker.
Hello.
With us today, and he's a registered patent attorney. He's actually we've actually entered into agreement. He is of counsel with Montgomery IP Solutions, so now Montgomery can offer full intellectual property services. So if you need trademark help, copyright help, patent help, we can help you. We can help you.
Yes.
So give us. Here we go. I just want to make sure that I'm seeing everybody's comments. But I don't want the volume. Cool, and thank you everybody for joining us and registering. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into it. So, like I said, this is Ronald Baker. He's the registered patent attorney. And what I want Ronald to do is just tell us a little bit, let everybody know a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. And then we're going to get into our patent discussion from there.
Okay, good morning. As Wakanda said, I'm Ron Baker. I'm so proud and happy to be here today to be a part of Montgomery IP Solutions. Me and Wakanda, we've been communicating for a while now, and we're so happy to finally have this segment to take place, because we've been planning for a while. In fact, I got here early this morning and we put things together. But a little bit about myself. I've been a practicing IP practitioner probably for the last, registered probably for the last 10 years or so, but I got excited about patent law back when I was in engineering school at Auburn. One of my professors mentioned it one day, and I just got so excited about the fact of combining engineering and also the legal field together. And it just made me feel like, wow, I can be an engineer, also a lawyer at the same time. So I really got excited about it. Went out into the field and started working as a mechanical engineer. I'm mostly in the automotive and the aerospace sector. When I was at Honda Motor Corp, I became a part of their IP committee there, where we had in-house counsel, we had external counsel, patent attorney, and we also had some of the executives at Honda, and I was part of that committee. And that was part of my first experience with IP. And through that experience, I got really excited about trying to help companies, inventors, startups, entrepreneurs. Later on, after I taught school for a while at Troy University, mostly business courses. Doing that experience as well, I got a urge to really help individuals grow their business, because people do have a lot of good ideas out here in the world, and they need help with that, and that's what we provide. We help with their branding. We help get the concepts or ideas out there for other people to see and buy. And it's people need help sometimes, and oftentimes individuals don't know where to turn. They don't know what support they need, and quite frankly, they just don't know which legal services they need. And I can't tell you how many times I've spoken with people at network events where they just don't know what's the difference between a patent and a trademark, and oftentimes a trademark versus a copyright.
I agree.
And we were just talking this morning where I've had a person come up to me and say, hey, how can I get a patent on a trademark?
Which you can.
Which you can. So.
Right, and so I think that's the purpose of this webinar today, is just to let you guys know about the different ways that you can protect your brand, your content, and your ideas, how you can use trademarks, copyrights, and patents, not only individually, but also together, because sometimes those things overlap. And so I want to just get started with the patent part of it, because I know, like I said, a lot of people hear about the copyrights and trademarks from me all the time. I'm interested for myself, because patents that's not my realm of genius. And here at Montgomery, we believe in letting people operate in their realm of genius. And just from everything you just said, patents are definitely your realm of genius. So what exactly is a patent?
Well, patent is a lot of, I can't overstate this enough, but oftentimes people will say patent, they have a right to protect their idea or their inventive concept, but patent actually is a way of excluding others. It's an agreement between you and the government where the government excludes others for a certain period of time. So you can make the type of advancements or the money that you choose to with your concept. So in a nutshell, a patent is something that excludes the rest of the world, quite frankly, from using your idea as long as you take the right steps to protect it. Or not protect it, but take the right steps to exclude it from others. Sorry.
Okay. And there's a lot of, why would we want to do that? Why would we want to exclude someone else, or why would we want to protect our ideas in this way?
Well, quite frankly, I should have expanded on this earlier, but you want to make sure that whatever you come up with is your intellectual property. That's why we call it intellectual property, because you own what you come up with, what you dream of and what you grow. And so you don't want others to steal that from you. So that's really why you want patents, and you really want to make sure you have the opportunity to use those things that you actually came up with. And far too often people get things, we call them infringed, but you get people who take others' ideas and they use them for monetary gains. And so you want to make sure early as possible that you as a business owner, you go out and take the right steps, you contact the right legal person to help do that. Because if you don't, you're going to short yourself, you're going to short your business, and quite frankly, you won't grow in the way that you really want, or at least that you dream of growing.
Well, can anything be protected? Can I protect like any type of idea I have, like through patent registration? Like what specifically can be protected with patents?
Well, yeah, and this is coming straight from the law books, but the things that you want that can be patented is machine, manufacture, process, and composition of matter. Those are the four main things that the patent office says that you can patent. Outside of that, it can't be patented.
Okay, so now let's break that down in English for us that kind of went over our head. What does that look like in practice? So you said those things, but what does that look like? Give us some examples of what you mean.
Well, machine, for example, machine is like your iPad or your iPhone. That's considered a machine. So that machine or that tangible item, you can patent that. Manufacture is very similar to a process, but manufacture means that like most companies, most companies build things, they manufacture things. That manufacturing process specifically can be patented. Process, on the other hand, is very closely related to manufacture, but process is just what it says. You can patent a process, and typically, over the last few years, the patent office is called it business method patent, but that's generally just a process patent, meaning that if you come up with a way or a process to do certain things, whether it's cooking or hair products or making something through a process, then you can patent that process.
Interesting.
Yeah. And composition of matter is chemicals, for example, is a really good example. Composition of matter is just taking various compositions, again, whether it be chemicals or whatever else that you might do. If you come up with a novel way of combining those materials, that can be patented.
Interesting. And if you guys have questions through all this, make sure that you ask your questions in the comments so that we can have Attorney Baker answer those questions. So I heard you say that we need patents to help us. So what patents essentially are a grant from the government to give the owner a right to exclude others from using their particular process or machine or what they came up with. Hey Tracy, how you doing? Okay, so there's something out there that we talked about earlier. And we were talking about this thing called a provisional patent that I hear people say all the time that, oh, I'm just going to get a provisional patent. And then there's a non-provisional patent. But isn't it true, or you tell me, is there such thing as a provisional patent?
No, there's no such thing as a provisional patent, actually. A provisional application, on the other hand, and this topic comes up all the time with me and potential clients because people tend to want to know what is this thing called provisional versus a non-provisional application. Mm-hmm. Well, a provisional application generally is an application where you apply through the patent office to basically hold your idea for 12 months. And at that 12-month period, you must file a non-provisional application or some other response that's going to be suitable in order to continue to secure your invention. But a patent application, there's no such thing as a provisional patent, but there's a provisional application you can file. And just to elaborate more, a provisional application is nothing more than a placeholder. And some clients tend to like that idea because if they like that type of application, because if they come up with an idea, but they just don't have the finances at the time to help exclude or help send the patent office something to say, hey, this is my idea. That provision application would allow the patent office to say, hey, John Williams has an idea. Mm-hmm. He just sent this application in. He explained what that idea is. So let's hold his place in line for 12 months, meaning that for 12 straight months, no one else can come in with that same idea and try and file it over you because you have that placeholder. Now, it's important to elaborate that whenever that provision application is filed, there's no prosecution that takes place.
What do you mean by prosecution?
Okay, prosecution means there's no back and forth between the patent office. The patent office simply is not going to look at the application and start reviewing it for patentability. They're just going to get the application, put it in the file, for lack of other terms, put it in the file and say, okay, we're going to hold this place for 12 months. And so there will be no prosecution as it pertains to the attorney dealing with the patent office.
I have a question. So if that's the case, does it matter what you put in that provisional application? If they're not going to look at it, if they're not going to analyze it, does it matter what you put in that? Can you just put your name and, I have an idea, send it?
No. I get that question a lot too. That will not work. Now, just because I said it won't be prosecuted, that doesn't mean that application won't show up at some point in litigation, for example. But that patent is what we call you have provisional rights at that point. So in order for you to have provisional rights on, let's say, this tray, I guess, here, and probably has a patent on it, right? So in that application, you're going to have to put as much detail, or the patent attorney is going to have to put as much detail as they can in order for the patent office to understand on August today, that person had this idea in mind, not just some paperwork that he filed, but you have to put enough information in there to fully describe what that person is trying to invent. Myself, whenever I submit provisional applications, I like to draft my applications up like it's a non-provisional, meaning that I like to try and include as much information, drawings, a really good description of specification, oftentimes claims, a certain number of claims, so that when it gets to the patent office, if something else comes up in the future, they will know that this inventor came up with this idea. If there is a concern for a third party, so if there's a competition between the inventor and the third party, the patent office can say at that point, no, the inventor came up with this 6 months ago, and you just came up with it today, so this person wins. So it's very critical what you put in the provisional application.
One of the other things I heard you say is that the provisional application is like a placeholder. So why is it important that you have your place held? Like, does it matter when you submit your application or who gets the right? I know with trademarks is first to file. Even though with trademarks and copyrights, you get a right as soon as those things are created. Mm-hmm. But you can't get it federally unless it's registered and it's first to use, not first to file. With trademarks, first to use, not first to file. Is it the same way with patents?
It is that As of March 16, 2013, President Obama implemented the Americans Invent Act. And when that happened, we went from a system, a prior system that said that if you came up with an idea and you didn't move on it, and someone else moved on it before you did, you can go to court and make that argument, or go to the patent office and make the argument that no, it was my idea first. In fact, listen to my husband. Here's an affidavit. My husband saw me build this thing in the basement. Or my aunt or my uncle saw me talking about this maybe at some point at dinner. So before March 16, 2013, you can make those type of arguments and say, I was the first person to invent this concept. After that date, and we're now in the new AIA system, after that date, it's critical that you file a provisional because, like Tanya just mentioned, if you come up with an idea and you sit on it and someone else beats you to the patent office, we're now in what we call a first to file system, meaning that if you go out to Starbucks and you talk about your concept in front of somebody at the table at Starbucks, and that person has enough resources to take that idea and build it, that person can run to the patent office, file a patent application. He will beat you every time because let me go back. He will be successful because he beat you to the patent office before you got a chance to file your idea. So it's very critical that you first and foremost keep these items secret, don't talk to anyone, and you file as soon as you can, which means you need to go find someone early as possible who understands the patent office and how to file these types of applications.
Is there something that they should not be doing before they seek legal advice?
There's a lot they should not be doing.
Maybe give us like the top 3.
Well, number one, they should not be trying to publish anything. Number 2, again, like I said a minute ago, they should not be talking to certain entities. Like, it's so easy. I see it all the time when I go to networking events. It's so easy to get up and brag and talk to people about what you're doing and what type of millionaire you're going to be once your patent hits the market. But when that happens, you're putting yourself in jeopardy because anyone who overhears that and they go to the patent office, you are putting your concept in jeopardy by doing that. Probably the third thing I would say is don't get on social media. I see people all the time, they're on social media, they're talking about things that they're doing with other partners or people that's on social media. Social media can be very damaging as it relates to anything that you put out there and force your concept, because the patent office, when prosecution comes up, the patent office is going to be researching and looking for this kind of stuff. And if they see you on the internet, like Facebook or any other social networking media, then they can hold that against you and possibly even get a rejection, a final rejection on a concept.
Is that because you only have a year from the time that it's made public to actually file the application?
Yes.
So if you go and you have a meeting today and you're, like you said, in Facebook or Starbucks talking about your idea and telling everybody about it, and then you wait until, a year and a half from now to file your application, then you waited too long.
Waited too long. The AIA implemented what we call exceptions to the rules in terms of telling others. If, let's say, the scenario I just told you about where you're at Starbucks and you tell a third party about your concept and that third party runs out the next day and tries to file a patent on it, you can file exceptions to that because that person actually found out through you. So there are exceptions, so they're not easily granted, but the patent office is still going to hold that act against you. So to Latanya's point, anything, if it's within a year, you can make certain arguments or exceptions to what happened in order to defeat a third party from trying to file your application. But anything over a year, you've lost. At that point, you're going to get a rejection for basically publishing and communicating your idea to the public.
So I think we learned a lot about patents in like 20 minutes. Did anybody else feel like that was very useful information? I see on here that Donnie says that it's great advice. Please share. And if you are watching this from the live video, if you're on our Facebook Live, please share. Please share this with anybody and everybody who can benefit from this. And we actually have some questions about copyright, so I think we're going to switch gears. If there are no more patent questions, we're going to switch gears. We're going to switch gears. You have anything?
No, I do not.
I think we talked about a lot, and we can always come back and tie it all together. Yeah. But what we're going to do now, we're going to talk about protecting your ideas. Let's talk about protecting your content, because Dirk says, I'm in the process of writing a book. I have my own publishing company, but I haven't started the copyright process. What should I do? What is the process? Awesome, awesome question. So first of all, we're going to back up and talk about copyrights. And we'll answer that question. We'll come back and answer that question. What can you patent? And we talked about that actually a little bit prior. But so right now we're going to talk about copyrights, switching gears. So copyrights protect an author's original work that's in a fixed, tangible form. So the main things you want to talk about are original, fixed, tangible. So original, and I did a video yesterday, but what we mean by original, meaning that it's original to you. You did not copy someone else's work. This is something that you use your own senses and you were inspired and you created based off of how you process things. This is this is your original work. Fixed, tangible form means that it's fixed. When something is fixed, it's something that intangible means that something that can be touched. Something fixed means something that is in place. So examples of fixed, tangible will be writings. It will be your music. It will be this video. This broadcast here is protected by copyrights. Okay, keep that in mind. So that's what we mean by copyrights in fixed, tangible form. And then author, very important. Let me share this with you. The author is the person that actually brings that idea to life. So a lot of times people say, well, I paid my graphic designer to create this logo for me, which is awesome. You gave them what you wanted them to do and they did it. But because they brought that idea that you had to life, they are the author and they are the owner of that logo or whatever work you have them do, unless they're an employee doing the work in the scope of their employment, and there's a work for hire agreement or a copyright assignment agreement. That's right, thank you, Donovan. And so the good thing about copyrights, and this is for Dirk, the great thing about copyrights is that your protection starts from the time you create the work. So from the time you write your book, from the time you write your song, or your film your movie, that's when the protection actually starts. It happens then. The thing about copyrights is that it's a federal statute. It's federal law. So in order for you to be able to bring suit against someone that infringes on your stuff, and by infringement means steal, you have to have a federally registered copyright. Okay, so yes, exactly. So you got to have a federally registered copyright in order to bring suit against someone else. And the internet makes it so easy to infringe. So what I would do, just like we talked about with patents, is until you have your work complete, until you have it registered, I wouldn't go and tell anybody about it, because you can file your registration. Unlike patents, you can file your copyright registration at any time. The thing is, your protection, the level of protection you will get will be lower. So the best thing to do is when you finish your book, after you've done all your edits and stuff, is to get it registered with the Copyright Office. And how can you copyright your logo? The first thing is, if you have a graphic designer create that logo for you, make sure that your contract with them, because you're using contracts, right? Make sure your contract with them has a copyright assignment in there that makes you the owner of the logo. And then you can register that with the USPTO's office. But you want to make sure that you are, and you can go to copyright.gov in order to register it. There's something else I want to say. So with copyrights, the thing to remember is, and with the logo, let's talk about the logo for a minute. So your logo could be protected by copyrights if it's an original work in a fixed tangible form. But since it's your logo, that also implies that you're using it as a brand identifier, maybe to identify the source of your good or service that you're providing, which also makes it a trademark, which we'll talk about in just a moment. That means it can be protected by both copyrights and trademarks. And I always advise my clients that if you can, if you qualify for both, then go ahead and do both, because they offer different protection. Your copyright expires, your trademark will not. Your copyright expires 70 years after the death of the author, or 120 years if it's a corporation. That's how long you have to use that copyright. After that time, it goes into public domain and anybody can use it. All right. Unlike trademarks are good for as long as you're using it. As long as you're using that logo to identify the source of your good or service, you can keep using it 100, 200, 300 years and be able to prevent others from using that trademark. But those are some excellent questions and things that I want you to know. So in order to protect your content, right now we're talking about, so you have your books and you have your plays. And right now in the internet, we have a lot of people that are writing blogs. We have a lot of people who are creating courses. You want to register that stuff with the Copyright Office. And you want to keep in mind that some things cannot be protected by copyrights. So short phrases cannot be protected by copyrights. If you come up with a great title for your book, don't be upset if you see someone else with that great title. Okay, just think about how many movies you see with the same title, or how many songs that have the same title, because copyrights do not protect short phrases. Okay, with your courses, you want to keep in mind that, and I always tell people when it comes to, they really want to protect the content and protect their courses. What you're protecting is your course and the content, right? But what you can't prevent other people from doing is from taking your information that they learned and processing it the way they process it, and then doing whatever it is they do with it. I mean, just think about how many books as an entrepreneur you read every single day, all that information that you're soaking up, and then you're applying, right? Now, one of the things that you want to make sure that you do is if you come up with something, you want to, and if you're not the original author of it, it's, give the person credit. I read such and such a book, and this is where this concept came from. Don't act like you're the person that created the concept, because that's plagiarism. There's a difference between plagiarism and copyrights. In this time, that's right, short phrases and titles are not protected. And so that's great. Are there any questions with copyrights? We want to make sure that what is the process when creating a clothing line with a partner? What is the process when creating a clothing line with a partner? I would say, give me a second, I'm gonna answer that question. But before I answer that question, I want to make sure that I talk about the next part of the webinar. We talked about patents, so we can protect our ideas. We talked about copyright, so our content is straight. Now we want to protect our brand. And this will kind of answer your question too. Tatia? Yeah, it is. So trademarks, and those are my absolute favorite things. So trademarks protect the source of a brand identifier. That is the thing that help people, trademarks protect brand identifiers. And that is the source of a good or a service. So brand identifier. Like if you see Facebook, then you are expecting this social media platform, right? You can know by the name Facebook and LinkedIn that those are two different things. Nike and Adidas, those are brand identifiers. When you see Nike, you know that it has a certain quality. You see Adidas, it has a certain quality and what to expect. Those are brand identifiers. Oh, t-shirt. Oh, thank you. So that's what trademarks protect, right? And there's these tons of examples of that. So most of the time when people think about trademarks, they think about logos and they think about slogans. But let me just tell you, trademarks protect so many different things that it's amazing. They protect colors. Think about T-Mobile, that magenta hot pink that they use. That's protected by trademarks. They can protect smell. There was a flower company, a thread company, that actually had a flower scent on their thread, and that was protected by trademarks. There's a motor oil that had a cherry scent, and it was protected by trademarks. They can protect shapes. I know Apple has their store, their retail store, is protected by trademarks, and the shape of the iPod Classic, is protected by trademarks. Trademarks are amazing, amazing, like literally amazing. And so when you're going into this, when you're trying to protect your brand, the main thing you want to do is identify, what it is that makes you unique to the market. What is it that when people see it, they want to think of you? All right, and you want to protect that, because what happens is the reason that is valuable, just like trademarks and copyrights, just like patents, give you the right to exclude. So when you have this trademark, a registered trademark, now you have the right to exclude others from not just using the same trademark as you, but also similar trademarks. And that's pretty awesome, don't you think? I think that is great, because what that does is it reduces the chance of brand confusion. So when someone is looking for you, is looking for you, then they can find you and not an off-brand version of you.
Well, let me ask you a question, Tanya. This is something I had asked me maybe 2 weeks ago, so I got to ask you this question.
Okay.
Let's say if a person comes up with a trademark and they've drawn it, they've created it, they've been keeping it away from others until they put that trademark on a T-shirt. And when they put it on a T-shirt, they haven't protected it yet. Let me go back, because we're really not a trademark at that point. But let's say they come up with this design that they think is really cool,
Right.
and they put it on a T-shirt and
Right.
start selling those T-shirts.
Right.
And then other people in the public use that design, and let's say they get a tattoo.
Oh man, that's a great example.
What happens? Is that a violation, or is that?
It is, and it actually goes on with Janice's questions. How can you protect paintings and drawings? Because like you said, them drawing that design and putting it on a T-shirt does not make it a trademark. It's actually a copyright. Remember, the copyrights come into play. The protection starts from the moment they created that drawing, whether they published it or not. If they just drew that thing and kept it in their drawer the whole time, it's theirs. They have a right to it. And so, but if they publish it and other people are using their drawing,
Yes.
that's copyright infringement. And so what they want to do with your drawings, what you want to do with your drawings and your paintings is register it with the Copyright Office, because what's going to be at issue is who was first? Who really has right to this?
Okay.
Who really has right? So then in order to kind of put yourself out there and show priority, you want to file it and say, this is when I found this is when I first created this drawing.
Okay.
And these are my records.
Gotcha.
And then you can be able to stop them for copyright infringement. And I saw a case, maybe I have to look it up, but that was one of the things. So now if you see on TV and stuff where people have like tattoos and things, you see some of them covered up because some of the artists have said, that's my copyright.
Gotcha.
You don't have my permission to publish, my work. But that goes into a whole nother issue, because like, if I go to like this picture on the wall that I got from, I don't know, Target or World Market somewhere, they can't come back to me and say, I can't publish this picture in my video because I bought this. They transferred those, right? It's not like a logo or something. This is a one piece of work that I bought.
Okay.
So, but yeah, in order to protect your paintings and your drawings, you want to register that with the Copyright Office. And Ron brought up an excellent point. So when you're in the clothing business, and this goes back to, I know someone's creating a clothing line, this is what I want you to keep in mind, Tisha, is that if you come up with a great slogan or a graphic and you put it on a T-shirt, that does not make it a trademark, that is a design, okay? What is a good IP strategy for restaurants, like protecting recipes and brands? I'll get to that in a second. Because recipes are trade secrets. We talked about that earlier about trade secrets like KFC and Coca-Cola. But one of the things you want to just keep in mind with your trademarks is that they have to identify the source of a good or a service. If someone cannot look at that and say that, oh, I know that brand, Jiffy, I know them, Zoom, I know them, then it's not a trademark. And I stress that because I saw someone forward me a story yesterday, and it said something like P&G is trying to trademark popular millennial phrases. I'm like, really? How is that going to work out? Because no one's going to think of any of these popular millennial phrases and think of P&G and whatever product they have. And that's the point. If we don't think of these phrases and make that connection, it's not a brand identifier. If you use something that's popular like Black Girl Magic and try to, create a brand around it, you're gonna fail as far as the trademark registration is concerned, because people don't automatically think of a product or service when they think of Black Girl Magic. We just don't. We just think of Black Girl Magic. We just think about all this fabulous that is Black Girl in our magic, right? So awesome. There was a question. Hold on. And you're very, very welcome. Oh, so one of the things I wanted to, I think it was for you, Janessa. So one of the things I wanted to tell, so you have a partner. One of the main things I would tell you, and I don't care if you're in a clothing business or whatever business you have, the main thing you want to do is have some type of operating agreement or partnership agreement between the two of you. Okay, because in the beginning, everything is great. It's kind of like marriage, right? And everything is great. You get in the loan, but once you start working together, maybe you have some disagreements and you can't even come to an agreement on how you're going to handle those disagreements. And then next thing you know, everything is all, is all out there. So if you have an operating agreement, that operating agreement will tell you how you are to act in your business, how decisions are going to be made, how conflicts are going to be resolved. So that's one of the things that I would highly recommend for you. We have a question from one of our Zoom viewers that says, thank you for this information. Would you suggest that I trademark my logo and then copyright it for shirt clothing? Absolutely. Absolutely. So your logo, if you plan on putting it on a t-shirt or something and selling it as a design, you want to trademark it for the brand identifying part, and then you want to copyright it just to protect the design of it itself. Because that trademark, this is another thing too. This is another reason why you want to do both the trademark and the copyright. Your trademark protection is limited to the way that you use it. We call it class. So meaning, let's say you are in the business of, let's say you're an attorney, right? So you have your trademark. And so ours is off the mark. Matter of fact, this is a good example because off the mark, we use that for law. There's another company that has off the mark and they use comics. So he makes comic books. So I can't stop the comic book artist from using off the mark because no one's gonna look at that comic books and see that and be like, oh, I thought that was Charlie Murray. I can't draw. That's not what I do. I protect brands. I'm not doing comic strips. So your trademark protection is limited to how you use it. And when you're registering your trademark, it's very important that you choose the right class. On the other hand, your copyright, if you protect that design by copyright, then you can prevent, people can't use it on mugs and t-shirts and things of that nature because that's your artwork. Great, I think we have another question. I plan to use the logo on my letterhead and website, but also print on shirts, mugs, and hats. Okay, cool beans. And one of the things I want you guys to keep in mind and remember is that everything that we're giving you, we're not coming on here today giving you legal advice. We're giving you information so that you know how to, so that you won't make uninformed decisions. If you have something that's really specific to you and your business and you want to know, hey, what can I do? Call us, right? Give us a call, schedule an appointment, and we'll be glad to schedule a consultation with you and develop a brand strategy specific to your business. Awesome. And I think we have just a few more minutes. You guys, are you finding this useful? Are you finding this helpful? Oh, thank you, Kendra. And we thank you so much for joining us. So very much for joining us. Just want to make sure that we are getting everything. Does the logo have to be a particular part of the shirt to make it a brand identifier? That is a great question. I actually have a blog on this. So think about when you go to the clothing store. So the question is that we got from our Zoom user was this, like when you're doing clothing, where should you put this logo in order to make it a brand identifier versus just a design? And just think about when you go into the store. They have it on their tag, like on the sales tag, they have it in the collar of the shirt, like on the inside, now even on the outside, things of that nature. Dirk says, how can we reach you? You can reach us. You can reach us by calling us. I have some long arms. Look at that. Call us 334-523-0022. And if you're on Facebook, you can hit the call button And then you can also go to our website at iprotectbrands.com and fill out the contact form, and we'll get back with you. Or you can email us at hello@offthemarkipsolutions.com. And thank you so much, Donnie, for coming in and helping control the questions and putting the information out there. So everybody who found this video useful, I want you to do some things for me. First, I want you to heart it up. I want you to like it or heart or, and the second thing I want you to do is to share it. If you have somebody, if you have a group of people that, a mastermind, a group of people that you talk business with, that can find this information useful, share it with them. Let them know that they need to come see us. You gotta say, man, you gotta watch this video. We've had it all wrong. Patents are not trademarks. You cannot get a patent on your trademark.
Yes.
So right? We do.
Yeah.
That's what we do. That's our realm of genius, right? That's our realm of genius. So I think we did such an awesome job of staying within. This is a great lunch and learn. If you guys like this lunch and learn type thing, let us know. Maybe we can come on here maybe once a month and do one of these for you.
I really enjoyed it. I really did. This was my first experience. I told Latanya I was a little nervous about coming on, but it turned out great. And in fact, I feel like an expert now.
You see what I'm saying? I think we had another patent question that came by right when we finished patent. And the question was, what can you patent? And I think you gave us some examples earlier. Just give us some examples. Even if they're the same examples from before, just give us some examples of things that can be patented.
Yeah, things that can be patented, again, it has to be, there was a recent case, Supreme Court, added some new things, but originally you want to patent those tangible things that people typically touch and they use in the public. Again, when I used the iPad earlier, people always use iPads, iPhone, just concepts like things that you can touch. Now, those things that come up typically in my world that's a little confusing is apps. Apps can be patented as long as you can get a patent on an app, as long as that app connects to something tangible. And when I say connect, I mean it makes something tangible work. Like the app turns on the television, or it moves something, or it dials up the temperature. It has to make something tangible work. Lastly, again, chemicals, things that you combine that's novel. You can get a patent on that.
Like hair products, maybe? Hair
products is a perfect example. The hair product, you got to come up with some, obviously, your patent attorney is going to do a prior art search. And that's my job, to go back and investigate and do a prior art search to see what's out there already. Mm-hmm. And whatever your concept is, we got to compare it to what's out there. And I have to draft those claims in a way that avoids any direct infringement with anything prior. So bottom line is, things like chemicals can be patented. Anything that you come up with that you combine together to make something like, I call it composition of matter, but any matter that can be made by combining a lot of different solutions or chemicals, etc. Last thing is process patent. Now this is cool because you can actually get a patent on the process. And I think somebody asked earlier about either recipes or something tied to a restaurant.
That's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And just to answer your question there, process patents are good in those cases because, in fact, I've just talked to a gentleman in DC, and he has a novel way of making a certain dish. Well, and how you look at that is the process. Is that process different than what anybody else is doing? Is there something unique, like an ingredient? Is there an ingredient that you use that no one else used before? So you have to draft a patent in a way that either you want to focus on the process of the process in how you make that recipe or make that food, or you want to focus on the ingredients that's been added. So there are ways that you can, and there are a lot of food product patents that's out there, but typically it's the process that you focus on or the ingredient that you add. So
And yeah, we talked about that earlier, like whether or not you want to, because when you submit your patent, since you said you have to do prior art search, that's gonna let me know that everything you put out there is public record.
Yes.
So if there's something out there that you don't want out people to know, you might want to consider not putting a patent on that recipe or that.
The good point.
You want to do it more like a trade secret, and so a trade secret, and we're just very. The trade secret is that thing that gives you a competitive edge, and if someone else finds out about it, then it will hurt your business. It'll be detrimental to your business. So you have to make that choice. You know, you can consult with an attorney.
Yes.
To decide which way how you need to proceed.
Yes.
So excellent questions. You all are the best. You had some really, really great questions. And I guess we're gonna get some work done.
Hope so.
Again, if you need to reach out to us, and we would love to hear from you. We would love to learn more about your specific business and see how we can help you and assist you in protecting your brand, your content, or your ideas. The number is 334-523-0022, or you can go to our website at iprotectbrands.com, or you can even go email us at hello@alphamarkipsolutions.com. Cool beans? All right, so if there is here it is. If you get a process patent, is it a good idea to include in your cookbook?
No, that all comes down to marketing, right? You know, if you actually have an issued patent on the process, it might be good to publicize and say, hey, I wouldn't put the actual patent number in that, but I would say that is particularly, I know we've seen the comments where companies might say patent pending, et cetera. A lot of times that's done surely for marketing because, you know, the public wants to know that you have a product or some type of recipe out there that's so novel that you've gotten a patent on.
And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lee, I think you want to know if you should put that process, like if you should put step by step what that process is in your cookbook. And I would say no.
No. If that's the case, no, I wouldn't do that. Definitely wouldn't do that because you got people out there that's trying to re-engineer what you have, and you're not going to help that third party do that. So no,
absolutely,
I wouldn't do that.
Well, thank you. So let me check the Zoom platform. We answered it, so make sure that we clear this out. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, make sure you like, love, share this video, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
All right, hold on. We don't know how to end this thing yet. Hold on. End meeting for all.